Hello, welcome to this video on healing. If there's an area of your life you want to heal, whether it is an emotional healing or something to do with your body or something to do with a relationship or something to do with your external world or your internal world, this video is going to give you some skills today, some principles, life principles that will help you to put a plan in place so that you can go and bring about the healing in your life. If you're new to my channel, my name is Vicky Lord, and I help women every day have confidence so that they can live the life that they really want. And this video is designed to speak to you about the universal power that is throughout the universe, and it's available to you and myself. And I have always been interested in healing, more so when I was younger. I was so interested in emotional healing. I didn't know that it had the name to emotion back then. All I knew is that it was a state of being hurt. And so I went on this journey to understand healing in all its forms, healing in Jesus' name, healing by drinking more water, healing by getting your nutrition right, healing by changing your thought life, so many different ways of healing. But there was one principle behind it all that when I became aware of it, I realized that I had to work on it in my own life. And so this video is going to show you how you can create this change for you as well. So if you're excited to watch this video, subscribe so that you can stay up to date with more empowerment videos. But for now, let's move on. So the one principle that is throughout the whole universe is faith. And faith is actually so misunderstood because we've got a lot of faith centers around, which is awesome. But what I want to speak to today is that there is a separation between what faith really is. And once you get this today, your life will change and you'll be like, I get it. And it took me a long time myself to get it because I thought I was praying, but I was actually praying in fear. And this is what I want to show you today. So I've got some notes so that I get it right for you. So you may have heard the old expression, according to your faith, it's done to you. Faith. And so quite often we go and we think we're living in faith, but we're actually living in fear. So when we have our step to creating our design, if we think about the desire, the certain idea, the plan that we have that we want to see the result for. And so we know that's possible, but we also know that it takes faith to get it. And this is where the breakdown is. You've either got the fear or worry, or you've got the faith. And I've seen people pray from fear and worry, like they're so worried about the end result is going to be bad. And I know this from my own experience as well. I was praying for something once, and it was like I was praying from a state of fear. I was never going to get that answer because I was in fear. So I had to go through a process of changing the fear to faith. And so just because you have a desire doesn't mean you have the faith. It could mean that you have the fear. And so you're praying from a state of fear. So let's change that today and look at this, how to change the worry to faith. So what are you really believing right now? Not your desire, but what are you believing? And the reason I ask this is because belief is felt in your body. And so the way that we're going to change the fear, so if you're praying for a certain area of your life, but you feel the fear or the worry or the anxiety or the loss of hope or just like this burden of, oh, I wish it could happen. That's not faith. And we quite often think it is. And so the way that we get to faith is by feeling and repetition. And so this is why you may have heard another expression is something that I learned was the effective fervent prayer of a righteous man avails. It's the effective fervent, and that fervent it means repetition and to keep going. And so we're going to break down the worry and the fear into faith through repetition. And so we do this through We've got our heart, which is here, and our head, which is here. And our head is the one that's often thinking the fear. So if you separate the two of them, you got your heart here, and if you think, for example, for a moment, like you feel the love that you have for someone else, that's your heart doing that. And you've got your mind up here, and your mind can send the worry right through your whole body. And so our job is with our mind up here. So when we feel in our body the fear of the prayer that we're praying, that is called a lack of faith. And without faith, you're not going to get an answer. So you'll just be running on a treadmill or in a hamster wheel, thinking you're praying with faith, but you're actually in fear. And so we change this through the feeling of our whole body, and it can happen really fast. So the way that we're going to change it is through, we call it the imagination. The imagination is part of the process of life. So if you imagine your desire and then you imagine the feeling, like a good feeling of your desire, instead of imagining or feeling the fear. So we get the imagination to think, oh, this is my happy desire. And then you send it through your body to feel it, because your body is like a tuning fork. It's got electricity all around it, and it will be bringing the universal, the power that is the one power over the whole universe into your life. But we've got to get really clear on distinguishing whether it's the fear or the faith. And yeah, so we do that through the imagination, and we feel it, and we repeat to ourselves, I'm going to feel this feeling of the result, not the fear of it not happening. Like, this result is so happy and joyful. I'm so happy and grateful this is happening. I'm so happy and grateful I'm eating more veggies. I'm so happy and grateful the plaque artery has gone. I'm so happy and grateful that this walk has made my bones younger. And we're feeling the result, a happy result. And we repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And then it turns into faith, which brings the answer. So, yeah, tip number 3 was to remain faithful, but I already gave you that one, to be fervent along the way. So if you can do that, you choose your desire that you want to receive, and then you make sure that you're feeling the feeling of faith, not the feeling of fear. And then we move on and we repeat it day after day after day, and then we feel it in our body, so that we don't have to live in a state of stress anymore, because the fear is stress, and we need to relax our body and our mind so that we can live in faith on a daily basis. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.